Hey everybody, welcome back to Ginger Boom Studios. It's me, Shelby. Hi. Before I get into the video and the topic of what I'm going to be talking about, I just want to talk a little bit about a couple of things. One, I want to remind everyone that Black Lives Matter, even if it's not trending anymore. Obviously, I talk about it a little bit on my page each time, but I want to start bringing specific petitions in the beginning of all my videos so you guys know some that maybe you didn't know, some that I saw on TikTok, that kind of thing. Today I want to focus on the petition for Jamarian Robinson. I'm going to put the link for the petition and also the advocacy TikTok that I found it from in the description box, because I think his story is very important and you need to listen to his story to also understand how horrific this instance of police brutality was. So please check out the links in the description box below. I will set those links up for you guys to find. And please remember that Black Lives Matter. And this isn't over. We need to keep working on this. And sign petitions, watch the playlists on YouTube that donate all the AdSense, that kind of stuff. Please keep thinking about this, keep talking about this. It's still very important to me and to a lot of other people. Second thing I want to talk about before we get into it is much more lighthearted. I'm sorry for the angle, and I'm sorry if the video quality isn't as good. My old dog Daisy bumped into my tripod. Now, she's almost lost all her sight and she just lost her hearing, and she broke my tripod. She didn't mean to, bless her, but she did. So I'm using my iPad to film, so the angle's really weird. I want to apologize for my chin fat. I know that I shouldn't, but it makes me uncomfortable. I never thought I would have to see what I look like when I'm drawing, but now I've seen it and I can't unsee it, neither can you. So that was me trying to snap all Fawn's like, but I'm sorry again. This will probably be how it'll be when I do like drawing videos like this for the next few times, until I either get a new piece for the tripod or I just buy a new tripod. Tripods are only like 15 bucks if you get cheap ones like I do, so probably just buy a new one. But just wanted to, sorry, my dog just barked. I had to cut it out, but I just wanted to say I'm sorry if the angle is weird or if the quality is not as good. I am going to work on fixing that. Obviously my DSLR camera is better than my iPad camera for the most part, so again, I'm so sorry. I hope it didn't come out too bad. The angle was super hard to get. Again, I'm sorry. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, pretty much. So I mentioned this before, but I did end up deciding to do the comics camp I did when I was a kid. His name's Merrick Bennett, and you can go to merrickbennett.com if you're interested in any of this. Not sponsored, lol. I have like 10 subscribers, obviously. But I decided I wanted to do this because I've been having a really hard time with things. So it's activities every day, and you don't have to, you can do it at your own pace. You don't have to just, do it when he does it. But I started doing the first activity, which was to draw a page full of smiling faces. And he did like really simplistic faces, which is totally fine, but I'm still working on my style, so I decided I wanted to do some in my style, which was super fun. I don't do a ton of smiling. I mean, I do a fair amount, but I also do like pensive, neutral looks, that kind of stuff. But I do really want to make a comic, as I've been saying, and I'm just not comfortable yet. So I think practicing doing these kinds of activities will definitely help me. I'm also not extremely comfortable using twistables, but it was all I had at the moment. They're my wife's. But it was really fun, and I think they came out really cool and interesting. So I also want to talk a little bit about why I think this was kind of helpful. I tend to go for a very circular or oval shaped face for my style, because that's just what I like, especially on the women that I draw. I feel like it looks really nice. I think it's pretty memorable and recognizable, and that's something I've really been loving on Instagram. I don't have a ton of followers, which is fine, but a lot of people who have recently followed me have been commenting on how they like my style and how they think it's really recognizable, which makes me very happy and knows I'm going in the right direction. But I still think I need to work on some face shape stuff. So I did do a couple more like rectangular faces. One of them was just for fun and it's kind of like Bart Simpson. I actually drew 3 men in this exercise. So you guys know I don't like drawing men very much, but I did it. I drew 3 men. I know this angle is really weird. I do a top over view at some point. Again, I can't do just like a top down view because my tripod's broken, but I do at the end just like pick up my iPad and show you guys the finished drawings, and we'll also be able to see them on Instagram. But yeah, I do 3 men. Pretty weird for me. I'm not comfortable, and I think that's another reason why I'm doing these. And I want to talk to you guys a little bit. You guys know I'm emotionally vulnerable on this channel for some reason. I'm terrified of making a comic. Like, I think my ideas for comics and for stories and for like animated shows are good, and I would ideally like my comics eventually to be picked up for that kind of thing, because I am an animator. I love animation. I think it's really fun, but like I'm terrified of both aspects of those things. I'm terrified of the process of both of those things as well as the finished product. It's very, very scary to me. And I don't know why it has to be so scary, or it has to be so life and death, because I read a ton of webtoons, right? Which is probably where I would start publishing mine. And I'm not being rude or anything, but a lot of people's art is not where they want it to be either. And I watch them have YouTube channels also. One of my favorite series that hasn't updated in a little bit is called Console Her on Webtoons. I watch her YouTube all the time, and she talks about how she feels like her style is not where she wants it to be, and it's really inconsistent, and I feel that on a spiritual level. And a lot of stories I will read, and I'm not even a huge fan of the art style or the artwork, or I think there's a lot of, I don't know, like problems with consistency sometimes, but I will still read them because the stories are really good and the characters are endearing, and usually there is something about the art that draws me also. So I don't know why I feel this overwhelming need to be perfect, but it's not helping me, obviously, because I still haven't started really even writing the comic as much as I want to. I haven't been really planning. I mean, I have been working on character design, which I'm very happy with the designs I'm getting so far, but it's also just very stressful. And I wish it wasn't. I wish I wasn't, and I wish I could just go outside my comfort zone. And I know that's why I've been having a harder time also trying to put my foot in the industry at all, is because I'm just worried about that kind of stuff. But that's what this is for. I think I'm going to record some more of me doing some comic camp exercises and that kind of stuff, because 1, it'll give me more videos, and 2, it'll also give me more confidence and more to talk about and that kind of stuff. I think a lot of artists have this paralyzing fear of, if it's not perfect, then they shouldn't do it. And that's just such a damaging mindset that I've been in for a very long time. And I've talked about it a little bit before, but I am trying to get out of it. And I'm very rigid as a person sometimes, and I try not to be, but I still am. I like to stay in my comfort zone. I like to have things be perfect and be perceived as really good, but nothing's ever going to be perfect. You can just try and get better and better each and every time, and that's okay, you know? I love She-Ra, and I've said that many times. It's not perfect. I love it very much, and it's very near and dear to my heart, and it's my favorite thing ever. And the complaints I have about it are very minimal, but it's not perfect, because nothing is perfect. And also there's no such thing as perfect objectively, because perfect is also a subjective term that I feel like a lot of us don't talk about. So I know I should just make things for me, but it's hard, you know? It's really hard. And I know people will like my story. It's more just a matter of how much do I feel comfortable sharing on the internet about what I'm going through comic form, because I feel like I'm way more vulnerable in the story I want to tell than like YouTube videos, which is totally fine. You can share as much or as little as you want on the internet, and that's 100% fine. But for me, the comic wasn't super meaningful to me until I put more of myself in it, and then I saw more of myself in it. I was like, oh no, people are gonna know this is about me. This makes me feel uncomfortable. So, you know, it's a never-ending balancing act, really, of what are you willing to share, and are you willing to help people with what you share? You know, it's a very thin line, I guess. I don't really know what this video is about. It's mostly about I'm bad at being emotionally vulnerable, which is totally fine, I guess. But at the same time, it sucks. So it sucks and it's not fun. I keep saying this time. I usually have, I feel like, a clearer idea of what I want to say, but this time my brain is fried from other things, and I'm just like, man, I'm an insecure person, aren't I? Jeez, I'm a little shit. And it's true. I am insecure, and that's okay. I'm working on it. Not everyone has to be confident all the time, and there's nothing wrong with it. But, yeah, videos about almost over. I'm really glad you guys keep coming back and have been sticking around. Sorry you can't really see the drawing part in this portion, but it's only for a little bit. You'll see the little drawing at the end. That one's my least favorite anyway. But yeah, so I tried to draw a whole bunch of different hairstyles and face shapes and that kind of stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and come back to see more, maybe. Don't really know what the next comics camp exercise is, but I'm sure it'll be fun and I can show it to you guys. So here's a clip of the final sketches. They're just really quick sketches, and there they all are together. And thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!